Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and it is Saturday. Saturday usually just belongs to tech analysis, but not this week. Not this week. This week it is going to be a double feature. We are going to be doing the common charity test hands for our Fallen of Albaz deck that we profiled yesterday. Guys, if you don't know what this deck list is yet, maybe pause, go back, watch yesterday's video, then come back, and this may be a little more useful to you. Or, because, I'm not your boss, you guys could finish watching this one too, and then just go back and check out the deck list and hopefully fill in whatever blind spots there are. So, again, with most of this deck comes from just the Fallen of Albaz Strike Structure deck. And you know what? It's a good one, guys. This is a great one, and again, most of it is very budget. Again, if you guys have been collecting structure decks, almost every card in this deck was a structure deck card at some point. I would go forward to say every card was. And I'll correct myself real quick. Watch this, because I just don't want to show you guys the deck, just in case I want you guys to go watch the actual deck list. Everything in the main deck was in a structure deck. And all but one card in the extra deck was in a structure deck. So, there was one card out of, let's see, 40, 55. So, 54 of the 55 cards I used for this are structure deck cards. So, if you've got the budget to just pick up structure decks whenever, then you guys have got this deck. So, let's go first, let's go second, let's do the things. Let's go middle and to top. So, I'm going to go first. Wham, wham, wham. Real quick, double strike, branded in white. Very cool. We got Seifert. Very nice. We have Effect Veiler. Awesome. We can generate a control board. What do we do? Well, guys, maybe we can't. We can. Okay, so what we're going to want to do is you're going to want to summon your Seifert. Then you'll sacrifice your tribute it to your Seifert. You're going to go for a 4-star. You're going to be able to go into Albaz. You're going to fail to fuse summons, so just do not do any of that stuff. Then we're going to be able to fuse with our own discard pile. We're going to activate our branded in white spell card. We're going to be able to banish the Fallen of Albaz. Since we used Albaz, we can use the discard pile as well. So we can now banish our Starleaf Seifert. Does that make us banish him? No. So Fallen of Albaz will be in the discard pile. So this would be great news if we had our back to the front. We will banish our Seifert. We will be able to play our Albion, which now means Albion can go. Normally, it would be able to use hand field to make somebody else accept Albion, except we can't because we've got an Effect Veiler. So we will fail on the secondary summon. But what we can do is sit behind a double strike with an Effect Veiler. Maybe we'll get a Monster Reborn. Maybe we'll get it back to the front. Maybe we'll be able to trigger our Fallen of Albaz again. But you can start with a Fusion Monster and 2 strikes. So that is exciting. What would you get next turn? You'd get a Summoner Monk. Not as great. So let's go ahead. Let's do this one more time. Let's get another going first. And again, 2 strikes and a Veiler pretty much shuts down anything an opponent's going to do on their first turn in common charity. So unless you got some crazy deck that I haven't seen yet, chances are that Albion the Branded is going to do some massive amount of damage to the opponent. So again, I should probably shuffle on the screen. So again, we're just going to go ahead and shuffle, do a little bit of brick shuffle. Smash it in twice, do a halvesies, take the middle to the top. And again, we're going to go first, so we're going to get our branded, Ghost Ogre, Strike, Dark Hole, Chaos Dragon. This is going to be like the brickish hand. And again, you're just going to set your strike pass. Whatever your opponent does. If they do a big summon, you might strike it. If it's not enough damage, you might just take it and go for the Dark Hole in the beginning of your next turn. Or you can use your Fallen of Albaz that you will draw into. And this time we will be able to Albaz our opponent's monster, discard a card your choice. Probably going to bop your Levianeer. You're going to be able to go ahead and fuse into based on whatever your opponent's got. And then we can just go ahead and go into the plus power monster off our branded in white, which will allow us to banish the Fallen of Albaz and Levianeer from the field. So you'll have one monster plus you can go into Brigand if you want, or if you're looking for the power, you can go into Titaniclad and add the 8, the 12, get that 1200 to it, go to the 37, 37 plus whatever the other monster was. It's going to be a couple big attacks. If you didn't use your Strike or your Ghost Ogre, you're good because you still have a Hand Trap / Summon Negator. Plus, you have a Dark Hole if everything goes wrong. So, I mean, going first, it starts bad, gets a little better because you do get into the Fallen of Albaz on a turn 2. And again, would have been an okay to superior going second hand. Because again, we don't have to take a hit. And of course, Ghost Ogre can still interact on our turn 0, our opponent's turn 1, allowing us to really do some damage to them, depending on what kind of combo they're setting up. So, fantastic. Let's do a couple going second, and then we'll call it for the day. So, I hope that you guys have been enjoying this. I know the Fallen of Albaz is real fun. I'm thinking I may be a bad noodle, and I might go ahead and try fusing it up with Shaddoll's. I know I like to play Construct an awful lot, and Winda, so I'm thinking between those, running a small Albaz, small Shaddoll fusion bits, maybe dropping my Aliester and Invocation in, maybe going to Makava. I don't know yet. I'm trying to talk myself out of it. I'll let you guys vote. Tell me if you guys want to see that type of deck here soon. I do have a couple more requests. I started making a notebook. Guys, if I haven't made your request yet, please make them again so I can write them down in the notebook because I am an absolute scatterbrain. We've been keeping a notebook. Celestial got on me. She said, you're always talking about these great, requests, but I never hear about them being in production. Like, what happened? And I'm like, I'm a terrible person. I have a bad memory. I got a lot of things going on. And guys, if you don't mind, just resubmit the requests. And again, they will immediately go to the notebook. She's keeping me on the straight and narrow. She wants this channel to be better for you guys. So this way you guys can enjoy everything. So thank you for that. And that should be enough stall to get a proper shuffle. Because again, this thing was organized before we started today. So again, terrible. Let's get a couple going second. So I'm going to start with Reborn, Veiler, Starleash, Branded. I'm not hating this. What I am seeing is I do not have a way to fuse right off the rip. We are going second. Our opponent will have a monster. So we will be able to Seifert into our Fallen. So we will fuse. We will use the Branded Lost. We will have our fusion protection. We do have our interaction with our Veiler if they summon 2 monsters. We'll Reborn our Fallen again. I don't know that we'll have the cards in hand for the double fusion. Let's try. So for the best case scenario, let's say we didn't have to use either hand trap. And there's no reason to. Our opponent might have 2 monsters. Unless they're super huge, I don't see how you're really breaking through the opponent. But you will be able to play the Branded Lost. We will be able to Seifert into our Fallen. Fallen will allow us to discard a card. And again, let's go with our Ghost Ogre. Because again, at this point, it doesn't matter. Again, the only one we're not going to be able to go into is going to be Sprint. Because again, it would have to be an effect monster played this turn. So it is what it is. If they're playing light, great. You can go into Albion. I plan on maybe going into Albion second. So if you do have the chance, let's say you can go into Titaniclad first. So we do that. And then you Reborn. You go into Albaz. And again, if they have the light, we'll go ahead with our Seifert. Then you can go into your Albion. And then because of Albion's effect, you'll be able to... you can't go into another Albion. And I don't think the wording will let me go into Sprint, because I do believe it has to be a monster on the field. Even though this Seifert was something that we had played this turn. So I guess it stops there. Just pick your two that you want, because I'm ignorant on the wording here. And I'm not sure if that play would play. So you do a lot of damage. You do whatever you want. In this case, Valor is probably the better card to choose, since you were going to be able to do a double vacuum. And again, maybe there was a better route. And if so, I'm sure that you guys will help educate me down in the comment section. And I always do appreciate that. Let's go ahead and let's get the second one, so we can go ahead and get you guys out of here, and then maybe bring you guys back in a couple hours for our tech analysis this week. So just real quick, shuffly shuffle, shuffly shuffle, and shuffly shuffle. Break it. And you know what? Let's just leave it there. So we're going to get a branded bond, Called by the Grave, Mask 2, Albion, Super Poly. Terrible going second hand unless we draw any one card that's going to be good for us. Because again, without a monster on board, useless. Without a monster on board to help us, kind of useless right now. Gotta get one of our fallen Albaz into the graveyard first. So again, if we could do anything that could get the Albion out of my hand, great. He'll be fallen of Albaz. We could board him. And again, you're going to end up with your strike. Going into our extra deck, our fusion traps really depend on Albion or Albaz being up. So really, all you can do is Called by the Grave and strike for defenses. And then maybe last another turn, still get your branded and white dead hand. You're not winning that one. It is what it is. So guys, terrible going second hand. I really expected to see something a little more motivated. But just a risk you run when you don't pre-script your test hands. It's just one of those things. So let me try one more time. Let me try one more time. Levineer, branded, mask, reborn, fallen. Okay, so you could play. You're going second. It's great. Opponent maybe has like one big monster. If it is big, that's great. We'll draw a card. And again, you really don't have the cards that you really want. So like, you're going to go ahead. You're going to start with your Albaz. Okay. Again, they could try to stop it. If they don't stop it, whatever, it's great. We could go ahead and your choice right now. You could go with the Mask Change 2. Discard your card, discard your Levineer. Go into your Dark Law. Make opponent's choices hurt a little more. Then you get to choose between your Branded Bond or your Reborn. And again, it doesn't really matter. You can go with your Branded. Keep your Reborn for a little bit later. Go ahead, get your Albaz back. Discard the Valor. Go into the appropriate monster. Let's say it's just a big stat. We can just, again, go into Titaniclad. You're stuck with your Monster Reborn, which is great. And then this way you've got two pretty good monsters. Over half hit points. You end your turn. Your opponent's tutors are a little less powerful. They can't do anything with their discard. And then again, if they do summon a big monster, maybe they kill something, they probably go after the Dark Loft before they go after your Titaniclad. You'll draw. You get into your Valor. You can go ahead, reborn that Albaz one more time. Discard the Valor, and then go into a fuse trap situation where you can go ahead and rebound off of that. So, again, tons of play. It is a fun deck. I hope that you guys did enjoy it. I hope that you guys give it a try. And guys, Come back, check out the tech analysis here in a little bit. Otherwise, have a wonderful day and have a great weekend, all right? Later.